To do this presentation tonight is Board Member Josh Mockers and Paul Morgan.
Thank you, Joy. Tonight is my honor, the fourth annual Distinguished Alumni, to honor Mr. Bill Lammers into our Hall of Fame. So a few things about Bill. During his time here in St. Henry, many of you back in the 50s or 60s may remember him as your neighborhood paper boy. He was honored by the Daily News for being a mail carrier at that time. In high school, Bill served as class president his freshman and senior years. He played in the band, performed in several class plays, was a sports editor for the senior yearbook, but last but not least, he was a class speaker for the graduating class of 1966. Upon his graduation at St. Henry, he went on to the University of Miami. He received a bachelor's degree in accounting and went on to get his master's. After that, he proudly served in the Navy for 2 years as an officer, and he spent a decade as a certified public accountant in South Bend, Indiana. His leadership skills led him to become Chief Financial Officer for Sisters of St. Francis Health Systems. This was a 12-hospital, multi-state healthcare system with over 12,400 employees. They specialize in extensive healthcare services with a special focus for the poor. During his tenure there, Bill was a member and held leadership roles at local, state, and national levels in the Healthcare Financial Management Association, in the American College of Healthcare Executives, and the Catholic Healthcare System CFO Group. Since 2008, Bill has served as a board member and chair of the Finance Committee for the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation, which is the largest leading not-for-profit organization for addictive services. In 2014, Bill worked with Susan Ford, President Ford, and Betty Ford's daughter, and others to successfully accomplish a corporate merger of the Betty Ford Center in California with the Hazelden organization in Minnesota to create the Hazelden Betty Ford Foundation. Bill also followed his calling to Washington, D.C. for federal government service. He was a part of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, where he helped provide much-needed federal housing administration financing for hospitals and nursing homes. This allowed a much-needed low-cost government-insured financing for many nursing homes around the country. At the heart of Bill's effort to help thousands of seniors, whether poor in resources or poor in spirit. Currently, Bill serves as a member of Active Minds, a national not-for-profit organization working to change the conversation and to smash the stigma about mental health on our college campuses. There are over 400 college campuses with active chapters, with several of them being in Ohio. In 2015, Bill established the William J. Lammers Educational Fund for Alcohol and Other Addictions at the Miami University, which focuses on education and programming involving both students and families. It is my pleasure, along with the St. Board of Education, to honor Mr. Bill Lammers for his service and leadership, and I congratulate him on his induction to the Distinguished Hall of Fame here at St. Henry. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mr. Smockers. I think I should just say thank you and sit down after that amazing introduction. I know there's not a lot of humility coming out of Washington, D.C. these days, but I want to assure you that I'm from there and I'm very humbled and gracious to receive this award tonight. I want to thank those who are involved in the nomination: Margaret and Donnie Schmidt, Ed Wording, Pat Niekamp, Jane Woods, John Fulenkamp, and probably some others I'm missing. You know, Pat Niekamp and I were blood brothers growing up, terrorizing the streets of this town a few years back, and we created a lot of stories along the way. And to quote or paraphrase Mark Twain, all of our stories were true, and some of them even happened. Our Lammers roots go very deep into St. Henry history. I was privileged to work with Joyce Alley in an article you may have seen in the Standard recently about the B.J. Lammers harness shop. It was started by my grandfather in 1895, the exact same year that the cornerstone of St. Henry Church was laid. And who can forget, those of us who may have grown up in this town, the locally famous Lammers Ponds. I'd like to just recognize a few people in my educational process that were really instrumental along the way, and I'll be very brief. Jim Dippold in 8th grade, Robert Miller, Frank Gilbald in high school, the incredible, caring cafeteria staff who served us every day with just warmth and caring. John Dynas, who was our yearbook advisor, and I was fortunate to be the sports editor of my senior year. I can't pick up a sports section today or a magazine without looking at the type and how the pictures are laid out, etc., thanks to that effort. And also the class of 1966, some of us may be here tonight, and other friends from other classes in and around that time. Also want to give a shout out to Jim Niekamp, who was very instrumental and an influence in me to choose a mining university where my Navy career and my finance and CPA careers took root. You know, my St. Henry background, attending the church nearby, my Catholic background really helped in working with the Sisters of St. Francis for 17 years as the Chief Financial Officer, where daily we were serving the poorest of the poor in their 12, now I think 13 hospitals. I was privileged to make a couple of trips to Assisi, where St. Francis walked, and I walked in his footsteps. And he would tell his followers, he would say, in all things, preach the gospel. And if necessary, and only if necessary, use words. I followed that time with a time in Washington. And little did I know I would end up there helping to finance nursing homes and hospitals in the middle of the financial crisis that we had in 2008 to 2012. It was a great experience, and there are a tremendous number of wonderful people serving our country in the federal government. I'm also grateful tonight that this is not an election for sainthood, as I wouldn't be eligible for that. You know, as my professional career was rising, my personal life fell apart about 17 years ago. And I stand before you tonight as a person with long-term recovery, which brought me to the Hazelnut Betty Ford Foundation. And today I spend a lot of time with that organization and with Active Minds that helps students on college campuses deal with suicide and suicide prevention. And to help to smash the stigma and the shame of both of those diseases. I, like many of you, were given a second chance in that building not too many yards from here, that our church, in terms of redemption and reconciliation. Today I'm grateful to serve in those capacities. In St. Henry, despite being in God's country, we are in God's country, aren't we? It's not immune from the ravages of addiction. And if anyone's interested in working with me or talking with me about that tonight or any time in the future, I'm available to help, particularly with my fund that I established in Miami. I want to thank my family, many of which are here tonight, and others They were very supportive, incredible, my children, my grandchildren, my siblings, and their families. And my mom, Lois, who many of you know, she really wanted to be here tonight, but she's in an assisted living in Newark, Ohio, and sends her warm greetings. And finally, I want to thank my friend and partner for DC, Debbie Jackson. Debbie is a very gifted theater actress and theater reviewer, and I'm privileged to carry her bags around to many, many theater events where she's still trying, somewhat frustratingly, to teach some theater culture to this country boy from Ohio. Thank you very much. I'm deeply honored and privileged to accept this award. Thank you.